We're calling to order the Midtown Redevelopment Board. Today's date is March 12th, 2024. Can we have roll call, please?
Renee Richardson,
Here.
Davita Bonner,
Here.
Tangela Hardy,
Here.
Joan Shepard,
Here.
Lynn Thompson, Kathy Washington.
Present.
And that's it for the roll call.
We'll now have the invocation by Ms. Kathy Walker, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Washington.
May we bow our heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, a few of your servants have come tonight to handle the business of the city of Daytona Beach, specifically Zone 6. We ask that in our plans and in our scheduling, that we make the right decisions, the decisions that are best for your people. We ask these prayers in your darling Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
It's my understanding Mr. Thompson wishes to appear via Zoom. We do have a physical quorum present, so the voting members that are present will need to take, first we need to hear from Mr. Thompson explaining the reasons for him not being physically present here tonight.
Okay.
And then the voting members here would take a vote on whether to allow him to appear remotely.
Mr. Thompson,
He is here.
he's here?
Okay. We can continue on
We can
without.
okay. We'll continue with approval for the minutes, approval for the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion we approve the agenda.
Okay.
Wrong board.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries to approve the agenda. Can I have we're working next with number 6, approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for the board for the board meeting for December 12th, and we're doing February as well? Okay, I'm sorry, we'll do December 12th first. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for December 12th?
I motion to approve the minutes for December 12th, 23.
Can I have a second?
A second.
Okay. All the minutes for December 12th, board meeting has been approved.
We did
All
take
in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, like sign? Okay. Minutes pass. Now we'll have the approval for the minutes for February 13th. Can I have a motion for the approval of the minutes for February 13th board meeting?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for February 13th board meeting.
Can I have a second?
I motion for a second.
Okay. All likewise, say aye. All that agree, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, like sign? The minutes for the board meeting for February 13th is approved. We'll now move to, is Mr. Thompson in yet or not? Okay, we'll move to item number 7. Ms. Toliver?
Item number 7, this is a plan development, redevelopment, party, rezoning, called Daytona Plan District D 2021-071, quasi-judicial hearing. Project request from the Redevelopment Midtown University Transition, RDM4 zoning district to planned development, redevelopment, PDRD zoning to allow for continuation of the current rental of light and heavy vehicles for moving of personal property and to add self-storage facility and propane filling station uses with all associated site improvements. This is a site plan of the current location, northwest corner of West ISB with Oak Street to the north and Lincoln Street to the east. The next slide is an aerial view of the current conditions of the property. The next slide is the current land use, which is schools, and the proposed land use is mixed use. The next slide is the current and proposed zoning. The current zoning is RDM4, and the proposed zoning is PDRD. The project history, according to Volusia County Property Appraiser's records, it reflects the property was developed in 1963 as an automobile dealership, which included a retail store and a vehicle service station. A third building was built in 1969 and expanded the service station. In 1984, the property was purchased by U-Haul Company of Florida 905 LLC, and the use was converted from automotive dealership to rental of light vehicles and vehicle repair uses with accessory retail sales. From 1988 to current, the property has been licensed as a U-Haul business. The zoning designation of the property was Business Automotive, BA, when the original business license was approved. The approved uses for the U-Haul business was consistent with a BA zoning designation. In 2015, the city adopted a new land development code. The new land development code changed the zoning designation on the property from BA to Redevelopment Midtown University Transition, RDM4. The RDM4 zoning designation does not allow the previous allowed and approved rental of light vehicles and vehicle repair uses. Since the U-Haul business was legally established on the date of its development, but does not comply fully with the standards of the current code, the uses were allowed to continue as legal nonconforming. LDC Article 1, Section 1.8.d. On April 7th, 2018, city staff performed a site inspection of the property. The site inspection revealed that sometime after 1988, when the original business license was approved, a self-storage unit was added to the existing U-Haul business, and the site was renovated to accommodate the new self-storage use. The addition of the self-storage and the site renovations were made without approval by the city through the required process. The project description is to bring the property into compliance with the Land Development Code, and the applicant is requesting to rezone the property from RDM4 to PDRD to expand the uses to include self-storage and propane filling station with all the associated site improvements. This is a rendering of the PD, the Plan Development Plan for the site. The next slide is the architectural elevations from the front looking north. The next slide is also a front view looking north from a different angle. The next slide is the west, south, and east elevation showing the exterior of the building. And this is the building closest to ISB. This is next slide is the paint color palette for the property for the exterior building. And the next slide is the wall and fence rendering. If you notice in the bottom right-hand corner, that is a picture of the existing property as it is today. And the larger picture is the fence lining with the bricks in between the fence. This is another angle of the exterior a boundary of the property. It's just at the Oak Street corner. Looking at the property again at the bottom right, that's the existing property with the chain link and the mesh, and then the new fence in the larger picture. The next slide is the night view. The bottom right-hand corner is a daytime view of the existing property. If you'll notice the street light along with the illumination of the, what are those are banners. Couldn't think of banners. It's just giving you a nighttime view of how it will look off of Lincoln Street. And the next slide are examples of the banners, the lifestyle banners that will be displayed on the fence lining and the wall of the fence. Waivers and modifications. As part of the rezoning request, the applicant is requesting the following waivers and modifications from the Land Development Code. Article 5, Use Standards, Section 5.2.B.23.A.I.D requires self-storage uses to be set back a minimum of 500 feet from a major city thoroughfare. The applicant is requesting to waive the requirement to allow the existing structure to remain. The use-specific standards continues. Section 5.2.B.23.A.II, A, C, and E allows rental of storage bays and the pickup and deposit of goods or property in dead storage with incidental sales or rental of moving supplies and equipment. Additionally, all property stored on the site must be contained entirely within the enclosed buildings. If the use includes a truck rental use or a trailer rental, it must comply with the regulations for sale or rental of heavy vehicles. The applicant is requesting to waive these requirements. The next use-specific standards, outdoor storage as an accessory use, Section 5.2.B.23.A.IV, A, and B. The applicant is requesting to waive the requirements that storage shall not occur within required yard setbacks and vehicles shall be allowed on the premises overnight for storage only. The next use-specific standard is the parking and circulation, Section 5.2.B.23.A.V.A. The applicant is requesting to waive the requirements for the aisleways for the interior parking. Under the building appearance, Section 5.2.B.23.A.VI.A and B, the applicant is requesting to waive the requirements for garage doors and the exterior facade. The next use-specific standard related to signage, Section 6.10.E.2.A.IV, and Section 6.10.K.6.C. The applicant is requesting a modification for the requirement to maintain the existing pylon and pole signs. The applicant is requesting 5 wall signs, not 2 signs, and sign area of 166 square feet, not 32 square feet. The drive aisles and parking in Section 6.2.C.9, the applicant is requesting that parking spaces noted as parking shunting on the property count toward the required off-street parking. Dual-purpose parking shunting space be limited to 8 spaces. The recommendation before you, provided all Land Development Code modifications and waivers are accepted, staff recommends approval to rezone 4.7 plus or minus acres of land located at 700 West International Speedway Boulevard from Redevelopment Midtown University Transition RDM4 to Plan Development Redevelopment PDRD to allow for continuation of the current rental of light and heavy vehicles for moving of personal property and to add self-storage facility and propane tank filling station with all associated site improvements. A majority vote by the Midtown Redevelopment Board members present and voting is required to recommend approval to the Planning Board and the City Commission. The item is tentatively scheduled to be heard by the Planning Board on March 28th, 2024. The item is tentatively scheduled to be heard by the City Commission for first reading on May 1st, 2024, and second reading, public hearing, May 15th, 2024. Are there any questions? No questions. I will have my seat and have the attorney for the applicant come forth.
Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. Rob Merrill with Cobb Cole for the record. Michele, thank you. Great job. Very thorough, as always, and both your written materials that I hope you guys take a look at and in the presentation tonight. I think, as Michele said, this was, I think, the Terry Taylor Ford dealership some time ago when I was a kid, and then U-Haul got it back in the mid-1980s, early 1980s. So this is a corporate citizen that's been in Daytona Beach and in Midtown for 40-plus years. Somewhere along the way, since the early 80s, they started to use some of the internal space in the building for a lot of, when the college students would come in, a place to keep their stuff when they're away for the summer and such. And so somewhere along the line, somebody in the city said, you're not supposed to do that. And they said, well, we've got automotive zoning. We've had this since the Ford dealership was there. And they said, oh, no, we changed the zoning. And they said, we didn't know that. So we're here kind of fixing that. So along the way, and it's been some time, we've worked with the staff, we've worked with the neighbors, and we've come up with some ways to make it, to retrofit it, make it better. You saw some of the illustrations of the fencing, which kind of matches Bethune-Cookman across the street, with some placards, with some, we hope, historical type of, I don't know how do you use them, but they're banners, which are going to be exchanged now and then. So we've gotten some ideas on what to put on them and such, so everybody will like how it looks and have some historical context and things like that. We're doing some upgrading the landscaping to the extent you can do it with a retrofit like this. We're changing some of the architecture to upgrade it as well. So along the way, the staff and neighbors and others have suggested that we do some things to make it look nicer. So we're doing that.
Okay.
And that's really, this is what it's about. Michele mentioned that this is going to be a PD zoning. I think you guys probably know what that is, but I want to make sure you know. It is a custom zoning for a particular piece of property. We essentially have a graphic plan, a set of plans that show things like signage and architecture and landscaping and fencing and stuff like that. And then we have a written agreement, a development agreement that outlines what you can and can't do, and what you're required to do in order to operate the business. That all becomes, part of the zoning for this piece of property. So to the extent you saw the written materials, the documents, both the plans and the agreement, those are things that we're going to be bound by. So in case you have any question about, are they really going to do that? The answer is they have to. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions for me, happy to answer them.
Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
I'm concerned about I'm sorry, good evening, how are you?
Hi, fine, thanks.
I'm concerned about the propane refilling station. I'm not sure where it is located at.
Right out there on ISB. It's been there for years.
Okay. I know that's fine. You answered my question, I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions?
My concern was the propane containers also. I'm probably the oldest person in the room tonight. I remember when Ray Hunt Ford was there initially, the race driver. We used to cut across the property going back and forth to school. But I think the program, the project you have is a nice project. I really love the fence. I'm surprised to see
Nice.
that already. And sometimes it can be real junky. I just didn't know that they were also retaining things for property for the kids. I know they went out of their way to assist the kids, going back and forth across the street, but I didn't know that was the reason it was the way it was. But I'd like to see I really appreciate the changes being made.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. So we're going to have a motion.
Is there public comment on this particular item?
Is there anyone, any public comments about the issue? Mr. Nicholson, John Nicholson.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. I know they've done propane for a long period of time. The county and the city of Ormond for the last 6 months have been debating or trying to prevent a fuel depot going in at the north end of the county. One of the, or several tanks will be propane tanks. So I know right now everybody's thinking these little tanks like yay big. They're not thinking of 40-foot high and 40-foot across. The county, when they initially had the project come forward, everybody was thinking of these little tanks that are around the airport and the whatnot. They were not thinking of the 40-foot ones. I do not believe you guys are thinking of 40-foot tanks filled with propane or filled with gasoline. I know they're not thinking of that, but U-Haul may not own it forever. And if they sell it, is it grandfathered in for maintaining propane? So I'm asking you to consider the idea that the possibility that you don't think is going to happen might happen, and that you prevent it from happening now rather than fighting it sometime in the future. You understand? So please consider, I know you can put whatever you want in a PUD, one of which is it would be limited to the small tanks and not the storage, huge tanks that might possibly come, because if anything happens, it's like 30-block radius wiped out. So we must prevent that. So thank you.
Is there any other public comments? Pierre Lewis? Go ahead.
Pierre Lewis, 130 South Franklin Street. I know we talked about this at the last board meeting, but since it wasn't a vote last time, I at least wanted to offer my support for this structure that's going there, solely by the reason of, as I mentioned before, a lot of times the students will be there and need those storage lockers. And I think the fact that they're going to have that there is good for the students that are there. So I offer my support in favor of this. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Chair, can I ask the
Yes.
attorney a question? Currently, the propane tanks that was just spoken of, are those, what are the uses for those currently?
It's what's there now. They're the small ones that the people refill, kind of like at the convenience stores. And they've been doing that forever and ever. We just put it in there just to make sure that this is kind of a hodgepodge of stuff that's going on there, that if you were trying to make it compliant with your current zoning regulations, the ones that got changed some years ago, it didn't contemplate that kind of stuff, but it's been going on forever. And it's, we had the fire chief, everybody who's been involved from the technical standpoint, look at it and say it's safe and everything's okay. So to John's point about the Belvedere terminals, that's like a totally different situation, mountain and mill house kind of thing. But so to the extent you guys want to try to limit it in any way, I guess Jessica's ready to tell me exactly what we're limiting it to. But I think it says it has to be tied into the rental, to the U-Haul operation.
Okay.
So it's connected to that, and if it's not connected to that, or we don't do that anymore, that use goes away.
Okay, so let me make sure that I understand. So the tanks that is currently there, what you're doing is still going to be the same size use, the small tanks, or are you thinking about or considering putting the large tanks as what he spoke about?
They're not there for somebody's use, like the barbecue with.
Okay.
People come in and they fill their tanks up and they
Okay.
leave. So
All right.
it's small. It's stuff
It's
that's
a-
small enough for somebody to come and carry in there.
Okay, and then again, what he referenced is that if you change the code and change it to what you want it to be, somebody purchase it, do the person or the company or the entity that purchases it, do they have the option to make it still the same thing, but then they also have the option to make it bigger?
It's a good question, and the answer is no, they can't. So in other words, somebody else coming in has to be renting trucks like we are. It needs to be, that's the primary operation. This is a secondary thing
Okay.
that goes along with it. So And John, to your point that, they're really only as big as you can carry in. I actually have two that are this size at my house, and I have to carry them in with a dolly, But the little smaller ones were most people, I think, the ones that are so high.
Okay. All right, any more questions?
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I guess my question is for you guys. So I know she just asked him, should another company come in and purchase that property and decide they want to keep the propane tanks, is that something they would have to get approved through the city of Daytona to do in the future?
They would be operating as a U-Haul if they want to continue using the filling station, the propane filling station. If U-Haul was bought out by another moving company, then they would be able to use the same propane tanks that are there now for refilling. They would not be able, they could change, but they would come to the redevelopment board, depending on if they're expanding any uses or they're expanding the footprint over 20,000 square feet, they would come back to the board. But if they made minor changes, it would be done by administrative review for staff. It wouldn't come to you.
Okay.
Okay.
But the area that we're talking about is limited, so you'd have to do away with parking in order to get a larger propane tank.
Understood. Thank you.
I wanted to offer something to give you guys some insurance here, if you will. I think we can say, as we move this forward, that you guys recommended that it not be expanded, the operation of the propane facility. And I think we'll bring that along to the planning board and city commission. We'll make sure we volunteer that so it's clear to everybody and that you guys asked for it.
So we are voting on moving it forward to the planning board as well as the commission, okay? So I'd like to make a motion that we move this project forward to the commission as well as the planning board for consideration. Yes?
Include limiting
And to include limiting the, the size of the propane tanks, having that included in the consideration for the planning board and the commission. Can I have a motion?
I so motion.
Okay, a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, like sign? It moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is staff report, Captain Conde.
Good afternoon, all.
How you doing?
Go over the most recent statistics. This is from February 13th, the last day I was here, until March 12th today. During that time frame, we handled 3,363 calls for service, 763 reports were written, 103 felony arrests were made, 88 misdemeanor arrests were made. We had 115 accidents, 16 hit and runs, almost 600 traffic stops, 469 citations issued, 35 vehicles towed, and 118 FIC contacts made. In addition, I'm not sure if everyone was aware, but Danito Simpson was arrested in Pittsburgh. He was the homicide suspect from September in the 500 block of Jean Street. So that's some good news, fortunately, for the Williams family. Other than that, we had two major successful events since the last time I was here. Speed Weeks and Daytona 500 went without any flaws. Bike Week came and went, and I can tell you, the 18 years I've been here, it was probably one of the busiest. The Midtown District, the MMB venue, was incredibly busy, which was very nice to see. So we had no significant issues, fortunately.
That's great. Does anyone have any questions?
The only question I have is, you mentioned there was 115 accidents. Were they primarily during these two events?
No, this was during the entire time frame of February 13th until March the 12th.
Okay.
As far as accidents related to
The
Bike
events,
Week,
yeah.
we had 13 total, 2 of which were THIs. So unfortunately, there were 2 fatalities, but none of these were in the Midtown District. These were primarily in the beachside area.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, if no more questions, thank you so much for your
Thank you
very
service.
much.
Thank you.
I will see you next month.
Okay. Next up, Ms. Kirk.
Good evening, Sarah Kirk, Code Inspector with the city. For the month of February, we had 11 code complaints put in for the Midtown area. We had 5 rental complaints for the Midtown area and 1 vacant lot. Does anybody have any questions regarding the cases for the month of February?
The only question I had, thank you for coming and sharing this information.
Thank you.
I'm concerned with some of the vacant lots over in my section of Midtown.
Okay.
And I decided to make it my priority going forward to go ahead and have that debris moved. I'm talking anything from old shopping carts to fallen trees to just junk. So what is my best procedure?
Well, if you give me just even the roundabout, like a street area.
Fulton Street.
Fulton?
That's the one I live on. That's the one I travel twice a day, and I see it.
Okay.
And I'm at 328, so if you go towards Georgium's, you'll see it all.
Okay. I will get with Inspector Bostwick. He is our vacant lot inspector. And see, he most likely may have already have an open case on it.
Okay.
But if he doesn't, I'll make sure that, that he goes down there and checks it out. I'll let him know.
I would like to take a more active role in my neighborhood. Is there some way, because I do drive up and down the streets, is there some place that I can call and report it?
Well, you can contact the solid waste department within the city, Sandra Van Cleef.
Okay.
She is the liaison for the city to Waste Pro. So she can contact Waste Pro and they'll go out and tag, if there's a pile, you said there's a pile, and then they'll bill the property owner.
Okay.
They'll bill the property owner.
Okay.
So that's a start, but I'll also let Inspector Bostwick know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you as well. And next up, redevelopment projects, Ms. Toliver.
Good evening again, Madam Chair and board members. I've passed out to you the Public Works project list. That was not mailed out. I left it at your dais for you to see. The next item is Commissioner Harris. I'm remembering the commission meeting. Yeah, where she sits. Commissioner Paris mentioned that there's an upcoming job fair in New Smyrna. So I tracked down the flyer for it and I left that with you. It's a manufacturing and technology job fair that's coming up April 10th. And the Bannon Center in New Smyrna at 105 South Riverside Drive in New Smyrna is the location for it. It's going to be from 3 to 7. And if you'll see in the flyer, it says that veterans and their spouses will be given priority of service. These are manufacturing and technology jobs that will be available. And as the flyer says, for anyone seeking employment opportunities in Southeast Volusia, and there will also be student summer jobs and internships that may be available at the April 10th job fair. And the next flyer is specifically for a job fair for teens. This particular job fair is going to be, showcasing opportunities for careers, summer employment, and post-secondary education. And The April 16th event is going to be on the west side of Volusia at University High School. And then the April 18th event is going to be at Mainland High School from 5 to 7 p.m. And this is specifically targeting teens. The next item I wanted to share with you is the Daisy Stocking Park reopening. Is tentatively planned for April 20th at 5 o'clock, and I will get a flyer to you by mail and even bring it to our next meeting. But just so that you know, it's tentatively scheduled. It was supposed to be open, Daisy Stocking was supposed to be open for Bike Week, but there were delays in the construction. But it's tentatively scheduled for April 20th as the reopening, 5 p.m. And redevelopment staff attended the ribbon cutting at the Daytona Aquarium on February 29th, and it's an exciting experience. The rainforest is supposed to be coming in about a year, and they're planning a lot of different renovations to the property in addition to the aquarium. And from a poll from the ones who are here, how many of you want to continue getting your printed version of your agenda packets? The printed version? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all right. That's it. Yes, ma'am.
Could I get the print just a little bit longer?
Yes.
Please.
What we're doing, as I mentioned in February, maybe it was January, we have gone to a new online system, the same system that the City Commission uses, we're using. So what I'll do is, after I print it, I will enlarge it. I will do that.
I have no problem saying I have bad eyes. And when I opened the packet, I went, oh my God.
Yes.
Okay.
I will make sure I enlarge that. Yes, ma'am.
For me, I do not have the information of the flyers here. I don't have it here. And I'd like that. Thank you. All right. Is it, oh, okay, okay, thank you, sorry. Okay, thank you. Okay, and I'll take the extra for to be put out. Okay, perfect.
And if there's anyone attending who wants the flyers, they are over there, teens as well as anyone else looking for manufacturing and technology jobs.
Okay. Is there any other questions for Ms. Toliver? I have one.
Yes.
What is the status of 386 Transform with the county?
Yes.
Have you guys moved forward with that?
We actually met with them to volunteer our resources, people resources, and meeting space resources.
Okay.
And I guess they took us up on it, sort of. We are tentatively scheduling about 4 or 5 consecutive Thursdays at the Cherry Center. We're working on finalizing it, but we are going to set up there and advertise so that people who are still in need of service in terms of repairs to their property or need reimbursed, we're going to set up there for roughly 5 consecutive Thursdays from about 2 o'clock to roughly 6 o'clock for people to come in and fill out the application online. We'll have a computer room set up. And we're working on advertising it, and we're working on getting it in place. But we're going to set up at the Cherry Center, and we've invited Volusia County staff to come over with us.
Okay. Have you heard of any residents in our area, in the Midtown area, taking advantage or had any contact or anything?
Yes, the number of Daytona-specific residents, I can't remember the number, but 200? Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Wonderful.
But none of so far, no one other than one property owner in Deltona has been paid or been financially benefited from the program. What they're doing now, they're putting contractors in place to actually do the repairs, to do the site inspections, to determine what actually needs to be done, if more work needs to be done. So far, no one in general has received any money from the program. They're still going through the application qualification process. And they actually have to make site visits to the property for those properties that are still damaged or in need of other repairs.
Okay. All right, thank you for the update. Okay, let's see. So we are moving to number 9, presentation spotlights on Midtown. Mr. Pierre?
Pierre, 30 South Franklin Street. I know we got 2 mics now. And we got a new panel. And the property taxes increased. I don't know if there's a connection between the 11% property taxes and now we got new wood. I'll call the mayor on that one. If you're listening, property taxes go up, now we got new wood. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Look at this great wood we got. It is beautiful. And 2 mics. Anyway, it's a pleasure to even speak to the board again on the business spotlight. We have 2 businesses this evening. I mentioned last time that one of the things at the upcoming meetings I'd like to do, with permission of the board, is sort of give a bio of the businesses that are here, so I don't have to sort of ad lib to their services. And if they had flyers or information to pass out to the board, then you'd be able to get that ahead of time, or at least at the business. So right now, you've got a flyer that's coming across. And in essence of time, because of the 2 businesses that we have, I'll introduce both businesses at the same time, and on their lead, then I don't have to come up and introduce one, and then later on introduce the other. That would save us some time. The first business that we have that's coming to speak to you tonight is Dazzling Divas Cleaning. Dazzling Divas Cleaning, I have their bio that's here, was founded on or over 20 years of unparalleled industry. I'm like Miss Washington, my eyes. Let me look at this instead of trying to do this, right? Experience is dedicated to transforming your spaces with top-tier, eco-friendly cleaning solutions. Hailing from humble beginnings and a lifelong passion for creating immaculate, healthful environments, we take pride in our dedication to leaving each property sparkling and reborn. Serving both residential and commercial clients, our business thrives on high standards of quality stewardship and attentive care, setting new procedures in what means to be clean. Join us in our mission to not only just clean, but to genuinely care for every home, office, community we touch. And then we're going to bring up Dazzle Diva. But before we do that, I want to introduce the next one, which is Miss Condessa Matos. I've mentioned before sometimes that you can drive by Midtown, but one of the things you have to do sometimes is really get out of your car. You got to get out of your car and you got to press some flesh, as they say, or they say kiss the ugly baby. You got to do that. You got to shake hands with people to really get the essence of what Midtown, I feel, with Midtown. It's like Little Camelot, I call it, or Little America. You'll find that when they, sometimes you're in the news where they talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and all that stuff like that, you merely have to just walk around Midtown. And when you do that, you will see that it's there, and not only there, it's there and we make it work. That's what's extremely important. It's one sort of symbiotic relationship between, so let me just say this, as I've always said before, Midtown is not a pass-through. Midtown is a destination. And that's what we're achieving here. And that's what we're doing here tonight. So when I walk around, whether I'm going to the corner store or I'm at the gym where I met Mr. Jay at Pumping Iron, I told him he's always got a bandana. I didn't know he had hair, but now he's got it off. So it's good to meet him there. And no, I was not looking for a pedicure for myself, but I was looking for a pedicure, and that's where I met Miss Condessa. Her nail shop is here. The bottom line is what I'm trying to say is, I don't want to steal all her thunder, is we've got 2 great businesses that just started in Midtown, and one of them, I understand, has been there for actually 9 years. So when you walk around and meet people, then you will find some of those businesses that are thriving. And Midtown is no different. It has its own unique character in the business spotlight, but it's just like other communities that are at it. We have the same type of businesses that they have somewhere else. We have it in Midtown too. So I say join us and come into Midtown. It's a safe place. And with that, I'll introduce our first speaker. Jay, thank you.
I think that's their flyer, because we didn't get it either. You ready to take it?
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. My name is Jay Snyder. Victoria. We basically are Dazzling Divas Cleaning. Victoria decided to open a business. First off, essentially, I'm not really sure exactly what I should say up here, so I wrote a couple of words. I'm just going to go ahead and read those. First off, I'd like to say a heartfelt thank to Mr. Lewis for his gracious invitation to bring us up here today. It's a privilege to be here representing Dazzling Divas Cleaning, the venture born right here in Midtown, a place that we've called home for over 3 decades. Our journey to entrepreneurship wasn't a straight path. Last year, amidst unforeseen circumstances, we found ourselves without jobs. I applied to over 750 of them, wasn't able to get employment. Many of us can relate to that situation. However, with a blend of necessity and opportunity, we saw a silver lining. Armed with a background in business administration from UCF and over 20 years of janitorial experience, starting Dazzle and Divas was more than just an idea. It was a calling that we had to pursue. Our initial steps involved meticulous market research and competitive analysis, which revealed thriving demand in the cleaning services sector. It wasn't long before we were fortunate enough to forge significant partnerships, notably securing a long-term contract with Vacasa Vacation Rentals. This partnership propelled us into a phase of rapid growth, much earlier than anticipated. Today, Dazzling Divas specializes in cleaning services for residential properties, commercial establishments, and vacation rentals, including Airbnbs and office spaces. Our vision extends far beyond just cleaning. We're on a mission to create meaningful employment opportunities. By the end of the year, our goal is to welcome at least 6 or more full-time employees, offering not just jobs, but career opportunities for personal and professional growth. Looking ahead, our strategy involves in leveraging social media to amplify our reach and connect with both potential clients and employees. Through platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X, we aim to showcase our services, share insights into our company culture, and highlight the real people behind our success. Social media will be our doorway to engaging with the community, soliciting feedback, and continually improving our offerings. At the heart of Dazzling Divas is the deeper mission. We provide quality employment opportunities that empower individuals. We believe in building a business where everyone has a chance to grow, learn, and succeed together. As we expand, we are committed to nurturing talent, fostering a supportive workplace, and contributing positively to the community that remains to our community, and it remains unwavering. In conclusion, we stand before you as Dazzling Divas, more than just a cleaning service. We're a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of community and the limitless possibilities, the limitless potential of collective growth. Essentially, we're coming here today to try to forge a spirit of partnership with this community. And as we grow, we want to grow with this community and keep things going forward. Any types of bids or offerings that may be available, we're glad to try to find that information out or see what we can do to try to meet those. Basically, we're just trying to keep growing and keep this community growing with us. That's what we're trying to do.
I've lived here all my life. I was born at Halifax Hospital, so I'm not really a business person, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have started, so I had to start sometime.
Basically been doing this for about 2 years as like a side job. And then when we lost the job and wasn't able to get employment, I lost mine in January. He ended up losing hers in August? In August. And so that was an 8-month span where I wasn't able to get employment. So during that period of time, I went and taught myself how to do software development. I build websites and know everything that has to do with back-end and full stack development. So that's what we bring as well. That's why we highlighted on our technology side. We noticed doing our research that there's only about 5 or 6 local companies that have a web presence besides national companies. And that's why we're all about this, forward, trying to grow. So that's essentially what we have to say today.
Well, I thank you for coming because your information of your business and the success and struggle that you had starting is commendable because we have a lot of people that want to start, but they don't know how, and they don't know how to kind of figure it out. So it's great that you have the experience in that. The cleaning service is great. A lot of people would love to have a cleaning service for, elderly family members that you can't clean anymore and stuff. So do you have any cards? Did you bring any cards with you?
We have some more flyers.
Okay, definitely more flyers because we can definitely pass those out at our prospective places and businesses and, different places that we would love to just support your business and stuff. Where are you located? I know it says Live Oak.
Yeah.
So are you closer to the Ridgewood side or?
Closer
MLK.
to the
MLK? Okay, all right.
Almost right on the corner.
Okay, all right.
Been there for about 30 years.
Okay.
30.
I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind.
Great.
Do you dust? Do you dust?
Yes, we do. We're extremely thorough.
I need you.
We actually have a thorough training program that we run through. Every
Okay.
single person in the company starts on the same level.
Okay.
As they move up.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
are your future employees going to be bonded and insured?
We currently are bonded and insured.
Uh-huh.
So our employees will be 1099, and then when we get to expand, we want to bring on our W-2s. And they basically
Okay.
need W-2 with full insurance,
401ks.
retirement plans.
And pricing. Talk to me about pricing.
Our pricing essentially it's equivalent to the competing areas in town. It's essentially 10 cents a square, depending on clutterness and things like that. So it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's going to be around $150.
Okay.
Not bad at all.
It's very
Okay.
fair pricing. So it's
All
not the
right.
highest and it's not the lowest, but
Yeah.
Right.
that's what we're here to do.
So let me ask you, you said employees, how many employees do you have right now?
Right now, it's 3 of us.
Okay,
Yeah, there's 3, but
Okay.
then we have 2 part-time 1099s as well.
okay,
That's where we grow. We actually, this contract we just got helped us reach our half-year goal.
Okay.
already.
Where now we
So
can start
it's-
hiring
Okay.
more people.
I've got a couple people I need to introduce you to.
Okay,
Okay?
Absolutely.
Couple businesses.
absolutely. That's-
All right.
thank you again for coming.
Can I mention just one thing? I'm a redevelopment project manager here in Midtown, but Phoebe is heading up a small business area that the city has not had in the past, and there is business development programs available to you. I'm going to provide you with our business cards before you leave tonight. They're in the lobby. I don't have them on me, but we'll provide that to you so that we can do some follow-up with you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Here, take some extras.
Madam Chair, I know I said I would not, I wasn't, what's that? I know I said I was not going to. You got me. I know I said I was not going to come up again. I would like to, however, in support of my new friend Condessa, who didn't want to come here first, that's why I'm here. Provided with some support. I mean, I could dazzle you with my Spanish, but however, because I believe in a teamwork concept, I'm going to bring somebody from the team. Work that out. I worked towards that end, right? Bring somebody from the team, and Anna's going to help me with some Spanish.
Okay.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
evening.
Okay. Mi nombre es Lidelis Mato. Voy a llorar, te lo dije.
Okay. She's nervous. So her name is Idelise Matos.
Lidelis Matos. Vengo de Puerto Rico.
She's coming from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. She's nervous. Okay, so she sent me something. I'm going to read it for her.
Okay.
So she said that it's been a long journey. She's coming from Puerto Rico. Her father taught her how to fight for whatever she wants, and that that's what she's here for. She's been doing nails. She started off doing bread and the hair. Then she learned how to do the nails. So that's when she discovered that that was her passion, and she was 19 years old by that time. So she moved here to the United States with her husband.
Yes.
And so she said that she's being blessed because she's doing what she loves to do, and also that tiene una historia.
Ya que vengo de abajo y que estoy luchando y que me siento bien feliz por lo que he logrado y que quiero seguir para adelante.
Okay.
Que quiero que mi nombre se sienta aquí en Daytona.
Okay. So she's saying that she has been in Daytona for 3 years,
Okay.
and that she's coming, from the ground, and that she wished that her name can be known because for what she does
Okay.
and the services that she can offer. And you are located at 145 South Nova Road. Any questions for Condessa?
You know I do, come on now. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien.
Fingernails, manicure and pedicure?
Yes.
Both?
Yes.
So, wonderful. And your pricing?
Precio.
Toledo.
Pedicura 35
Pedicure 35,
y pedicura 45. 40.
manicure.
Manicure 35 y pedicure 45.
Okay.
Manicure 35 and pedicure 45.
Okay.
And tú haces gel, acrylic.
Todo tipo de uñas,
She
acrílico.
does every type of nails, acrylic, gel,
Everything.
taxel, everything.
Does she have other services that she offers in her spa besides just nails and pedicure? And
Tiene otro servicio como el cabello.
No, solamente pedicura y manicura.
Just
Y servicios de uñas.
Okay.
nails.
Everything.
Where is she located specifically on Nova? What is she near or next to?
The cleaners is up front, that's facing Nova.
Okay.
She's
She's
that
on the
building
side.
right behind.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Okay, so I know where she's at. Okay, all right.
Lo siento mucho y muchas gracias.
She's saying that she's sorry because she can't speak
no,
English, but she's very happy to be here.
And
She's very happy to be here.
what are your hours of operation? Hours?
2 horas. Horas
De trabajo de 9:30 a 5:30.
9:30 to 5:30.
Okay. And her days?
And days,
De miércoles a sábado.
Wednesday to Saturday.
Okay, all right. All right.
Good.
Well, welcome to the neighborhood.
Bienvenido.
Welcome to our area. Glad to have you and your business. We wish you blessings and thriving with your business and stuff. And we will send people your way to get their nails done. Yeah, we'll bless you with that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gracias.
Thank
Gracias.
you. Okay. So we are moving forward to old business. Do we have any old business? No, no. Do we have any new business? No, no. Public comments? No, no. Any board member comments? Go ahead.
Ms. Toliver, Mr. Thompson, I just had one quick question. I know, like 3 months ago, we discussed, it might have been 2 months, it might have been in December, the stump down. How we made progress on that?
That is a sponsorship that we just wrote a check for about 2 weeks ago. And as soon as they produce the flyers, the event is going to be in April. They were able to get a sponsorship from us to help bring the stump down to Daytona, and I don't have the date yet. It's going to be in April. I will get that.
I think it's the 20th. They did send
They
something
reserved the pack.
on social media.
Yes, okay.
It's not going to be in the pack. My understanding is going to be at one of the high schools now.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I will follow
And,
up.
and
on
I'll
that.
find that because we were just
saw
talking about it today,
Yeah.
fact, and it is going to be at one of the high schools. So I'll look and I'll get that to you.
Okay.
Ms. Ruby?
Thank you. I'll fill out a paper. Yeah, Ruby, 137 Park Avenue. I'm just wondering where we are with that Midtown Business Database. Has there been progress made? When's the deliverable?
We are working on sorting out the database. It was not given to us with any structure, other than the data, the contact information, what type of business, and we have to put together how we want to present that on our website.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a finished product based on what we paid for, but there's still some work that needs to be done so we can disseminate the
So
information.
you need to format it?
Yes.
But you've got the data?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you available? No.
Yeah, I would do that all day long. I excel at that.
And we have another public comment, Mr. Steve Miller.
Steve Miller, 383 Walnut Street, beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida. It is more than a pleasure to be here before you guys tonight. And Ms. Richardson, it's nice to see you as our chairman.
Thank
you. Somebody's trying to call me. Let me stop this. You know, I just want to let you guys know, I actually got a chance to ride through Midtown a couple of days ago. And you know what? Our community is looking beautiful. I'm serious. In fact, I've been telling people that Midtown is the most safest, most diverse community in the entire city of Daytona Beach. We have less crime than anybody, any other area in our community. And I have to remind people where Midtown happened to be at. Nova Road, but we actually take in the mall, Daytona Mall, George Ingram, Seagrave, Orange Avenue, Nova Road. It is the safest part of our community in Daytona Beach, period. Very few crime happens there. In fact, I got the policeman's department doing a statistic to show everybody that we have less crime than anywhere else. So Midtown is the safest part of our community, and I just want to thank the Midtown Redevelopment Board for the work that you guys do, for coming here and doing what you all do, highlighting the small businesses in our neighborhood. But I just want to say thank you for what you do for our neighborhood, and we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And is there any more comments from the board members?
Ms. Toliver, hi, good evening. I was just wondering how we're moving along with the container program.
We have not been presented with any actual projects. We've had discussions with the gentleman who came to the Midtown board, but we've not had any projects to come to fruition. Yep. Yep. And our stance is that we prefer the container PDs, which mean instead of one container home on a street, we want a community of container homes. Okay. But we've not had a project to come forward.
With businesses and that whole general idea.
Say that again?
With businesses and,
yes.
and to support the community.
Yes.
And
yes. Yep. And I need to reach back out to him. I'm glad you mentioned that because he was looking for a local office here in Daytona. Mm-hmm. And our last conversation with him, he was still looking. So I need to touch base with him to see what's going on with him.
We've got quite a few people that are interested.
Yeah.
Any more comments? Ms. Bonner?
Overall, just to say that I think tonight was very productive, and it was just wonderful to hear the business owners and all the others as well, and very inspiring to hear both stories. I think that it just goes to show that, you know, with determination and promise and a dream, that anything is possible. So I do applaud those of you that shared that with us. And I know through Ms. Phoebe, too, you'll be able to assist with many other things with entrepreneurship as well. So I think that that was very inspiring, and I appreciate your being here and sharing that with us.
Ms. Hardy?
Great meeting tonight. Just say thank you for you ladies for constantly, you know, taking time out of your busy schedules and coming to do the business of our area. So that's definitely key and a priority for making our neighborhood much better.
Ms. Washington?
It was great being here tonight. I enjoyed the presentation, and I'll be in touch. I have my numbers handy.
Anything else? That's it?
That's it. Let's
All right.
go.
My last words, great meeting. We're adjourned.
All right.
All right. Still light outside.